Just a little different environment today for y'all. We downstairs in my living room. And yes, we are big Commanders fan. Don't worry about the old logo. Okay, that is Redskins. Born and raised. Okay, Washingtonians, they're gonna always be Redskins to us. Anyway, welcome to Receive and Relate. If this is your first time here, I'm so glad you clicked on this story for story time. My name is Tara Walker. Welcome back. If you are a returning subscriber and or a returning visitor, hey y'all, hey. I hope my little phone stand that I'm talking on stays level and doesn't fall. So I know I talk with my hands and stuff. I'm trying not to move too much. I don't want to push the couch and move it and it falls on the floor. But we're gonna try to get through this. Okay, the episode shouldn't be too long. So again, we are now. Excuse me. I'm sorry. On the series of my narcissistic ex-boyfriend Owen. Okay, and if you've been following along, you know we met by now. And then last episode I revealed how I rented him a rental car, which was a truck SUV, and he left me on the holiday weekend of Thanksgiving, where he was supposed to be staying with me all the way through the weekend. He left early because he wanted to get back and make money. And so I'm glad I did that episode because it kind of segues into this episode, which is I ain't never in my life. I mean, never in my life, never, ever met a broke drug dealer. It's like an oxymoron. Now that one is a real oxymoron. Like it don't even make sense, do it? Like a broke drug dealer. How does this work? Okay, so what began to happen now that we probably like a couple months in. Yeah, we are. A couple months in now. Better be September. I'm sorry, excuse me. He came and left Thanksgiving weekend. That's November. So now we kind of like, and so, you know, because he lives in Philly and I live in Baltimore, you know, most of our, sorry, my husband just texted me, our breaks need to be done. The bulk of our conversation is over the phone now. So, you know, because we don't live in the same state, so we're communicating mostly over the phone. And he started telling me, it started out like this. Okay, this is how narcissists do. Okay, here's another trait. Okay, they will always have a story. Okay, it's something. The story is supposed to sort of kind of, pull on the heartstrings. That's why that I said on my ebook that I created, they kind of know their prey, because if you are the type of person like I was before I understand now how they were. If you're the type of person who is a nurturer, and this could be a man or a female, or naturally giving type of person, you know, just somebody that just wants to make sure that your well-being is taken care of. If a narcissist can sense that or know that, they will take advantage of that. And so what began to happen was, I remember the first time he did it. He gave me this story about how, because he lived with his mom, but that him and his mom didn't get along. And this whole time I never met his mom. I don't even think I spoke to her if I did, I don't remember. But so I only got one side of the story. See what I'm saying? I only got his side of the story. But he was telling me that she would do stuff like, now I'm not going to put this on her. I can't remember that, and I don't want to say that. So I can't remember if she was under the influence, you know, if she was on something or not. I don't remember that. But I do remember him saying that they didn't get along. They argued a lot. And so what he claimed was this time that she would leave like, you know, a certain amount of days or whatever, and there's no food in the house or nothing like that. So naturally you would think, but I wasn't thinking at the time, but naturally you would think, even if that was to happen, if you're supposed to be a street pharmacist, you know, what we said in the beginning. I forgot. I might have to edit that. How is it that you supposed to, usually they be the ones to keep the food in the house, right? Right? It's like refrigerator be full to the max, cabinets overflowing with food, snacks, and all of that. So why you not able to feed yourself? So what happened was on the first time he called me, that's what he gave me. That's when he poured in about the mother leaving from time to time, don't leave him no money sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Just really, he made it seem like she was really bad and not narcissist, rude to him. Just treated him like nothing and stuff like that. So now he didn't ask me, y'all. He didn't ask me to get him anything to eat. Like the words didn't come out of his mouth and say, can you get me something to eat? But he gave me the whole story before. You see what I'm saying? So the story is the intro to get you to put, like I said, to pull on your heartstrings and to get you now to make the decision. So in other words, I'm telling you, they're very cunning. Okay, this is so you can't ever throw in their face and say, you always asking me for money. You know what I'm saying? Because then they could throw it back and say, well, you volunteered to get. I didn't ask you. You see what I'm saying? But they know what they do. They're very cunning, And I know somebody watch this. You know what I'm talking about. I know I'm not the only one, because I met other people who have gone through similar situations like that. So I definitely know I'm not the only one. So you gonna really relate to what I'm talking about. So they're pulling on your if you this type of person who is just a super loving, nice kind person. So no, he didn't ask me. And so what happened was, after the story, now I'm feeling like, oh my God, you hungry? Like, you can't be in there hungry or whatever. Oh my God, it's coming back. It was also, ooh, wow. Lord just reminded me. When he gave me this story, y'all, it was also a Friday, which was my payday. Now, I don't know if he knew that was because I got paid every other Friday, but I don't know if he knew that was a particular payday or not. But it was the Friday. The Lord just reminded me of that. You see what I'm saying? But if you don't know and you unaware, and that's how I was. I was unaware of these creatures, even though I just divorced, someone who was like this. His narcissist. He was narcissist, but his behavior was a slightly different in how he manipulated me, because he still got me to pay for all the food and stuff and everything, because he ain't want to work. This one was the same way, but this one, instead of him just saying he ain't want no job, his was, I don't want to work for the man. That was the woke. That was him, the woke one. That was his woke. Okay. His was always the man stuff, and I'm just like, okay. But the man, regardless of whatever, if you need your bills paid, you gonna need to suck it up and work for the man. But he was the street pharmacist. But I posed this question because maybe one of y'all may know the answer, because in the last decade, I ain't never got the answer. And I asked a couple people, I said, how you a broke street pharmacist? Like, how does that work? I don't understand. You in the wrong profession. But it's not even just that. I just never heard of such. Okay, I've never heard. Okay, it's a phenomenon to me. I've never heard. So, I asked, if you wanted something. I think I ordered. If I'm not mistaken, I ordered him a pizza. I think he said, because back then, that we had like DoorDash and Uber Eats and stuff like that yet. I don't think that came on the scene just yet in 2013. And if it was, I ain't know about it yet. So it was still, he gave me the number to the pizza shop in Philly, Domino's in Philly or whatever, and I ordered ordered the pizza over the phone. Got it sent to his address. So he's, all thankful and thank you, baby, thank you. I'm like, no problem. I ain't gonna have you sitting there hungry. just in love and just as naive as I want to be. Bless my heart. Bless my own heart. So, but that's what started. That was the first time. So now this is starting to be reoccurring. Now almost every time we get on the phone and I'm just thinking we going to chill because after work, you know what I'm saying? I'm chilling after work, talking to my boo thing. We just going to have, flow and just have some good conversation like we did in the beginning. We was just talking about our woke stuff that we was woke about. But now it turned into every time, literally almost every time we got on the phone, it was some type of woe is me story. It was some type of pull on my heartstring story. About why he didn't have money to get this, or why he didn't, and it could be food, or it could be, I don't know, just in anything. And it was always this long drawn out story. Like, and then after I listened to it, but he switched up though. It's like, remember how I said the first time he didn't ask me, but I volunteered? I don't know if he just got comfortable with me or what. But then he stopped waiting to see if I was even going to ask him. He started getting bold and just say, by the time he finished the whole story, he'd be like, yeah, so you mind if you send me like $25 or something like that, blah, blah, blah. And I can't remember if he would say I would pay it back or not. I can't remember. But again, how you going to pay it back because you a broke street pharmacist? Again, I don't please somebody help me in the comments. So yeah, so that was what was going on. So sometimes most times he would just ask me, sometimes he'll wait to see. So then there was this story about bed bugs, because mind you, okay, the time that he came to see me twice. He came to see me when we first met, and after a month after we first met. We met in October. He came to see me. I told you that first time he spent the weekend with me, that was October. The next time he came was Thanksgiving. I ain't never seen this Batman no more. Remember I told you on the first episode we broke up February? I'll get to that episode. We broke up February. He never came back for Christmas. And I think it was because of what he said. I think it was because he said that for some reason I remember his sister. So I'm not sure if the sister was staying there or not, but and then that was another thing too. It was just like he didn't get along with nobody. It's like nobody don't like you. Like, you don't get along with your mother, you don't get along with your sister. Like, nobody in the house. The only person that liked him was the cat. I think he had a cat. Like, and so he blamed the sister for bringing bed bugs in there. So I remember one time I was on the phone with him and he was like, man, I got bed bugs. And I ain't know nothing about bed bugs at the time. I would later find out years later. But then, I had never experienced nothing like that before. But he told me that he had them. And I was just like, okay, but even though I ain't know about him like that, I ain't want him, So I think that's why he didn't come back. I think that's why. I'm talking about for Christmas or whatever. Now after Christmas, that's when things started to shift a little bit. I started to get my head out the clouds, so to speak. I started to realize, I started to get annoyed. I was like, why is it I am dishing this Bama out like at least 2 or 3 times a week, y'all. I was sending him and let me think, was it did I have a cash app back then? I don't think so. I think it was like Western Union. I think it might have been. I was sent a few times a week. $25 here, $50 there. And that stuff add up. And at that time, I only had been on my job a year. And so I wasn't making that much money because I took a large cut when I got this job from the previous job that I had when I was contracted at the government. The one that I told you I got fired from on the other series. I dropped a good about 15,000 almost from that job. So, but I needed, so I didn't care. I needed to work. I needed the paycheck. You know, I was tired of, at that time, not working. And the job came with benefits and everything. It was a state government job. So I was like, sign me up. You know, I'll get back to where I was. And I did. I eventually got back to where I was and passed it by the time I retired from that job. But anyway, yeah. So that's the end of this episode. I'm gonna come back again and do more follow up with him. But yeah, I really want to understand, y'all. Please, and I'm not trying to be funny. Like, I'm so serious. I don't think I've ever thought I would ever meet anybody in my life. Like, I would have just rather you just told me that you just didn't want to work for the man. I would have just rather him say that, you know what I'm saying, instead of telling me that he was a street pharmacist, because I literally couldn't understand how was you always broke. And he's so I could say this. He sold marijuana, from what he told me. You know what I'm saying? And I knew people that did that and still had pretty good. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't understand it, y'all. But anyway, that's it for this episode. I can laugh now because I am healed. You know what I'm saying? You can laugh at a good story when you heal. You know, but because then you can also praise and thank God for where God has brought you from. Because if you anything like me, boy, you be like, how could I even entertain these knuckleheads? But it was because I did not know the traits and the red flags of a narcissist, and I know now. I literally could write a book. Anyway, if you are not a subscriber, I would encourage you to subscribe, and like and share. And yeah, that's it. I love you, but know that God loves you so much more. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.